Now you have won 2 games in a row against Golden State. We know it's hard to win a game in the finals, and you have proved you guys can win under court. So do you think you have built greater momentum into the championship run?
I just thought, we stuck with our game plan, being aggressive and physical defensively, and I thought being aggressive offensively of attacking. I thought we, in the second quarter, we got away from it. We kind of slowed the ball down in the second quarter, which made us stagnant and made us get some shot clock violations, getting late to the shot clock. But, for the most part, I thought we did a great job of just continue to attack in transition in the half court and make them guard us.
Chris, back left.
Chris Broussard, ESPN. Ty, can you talk about your decision to put the ball primarily in LeBron's hands and what that does for your team?
Well, it does a lot. Kyrie, is special, and he can score the basketball at will and also make the right pass and right play. And then, down the stretch, we decided to put the ball in LeBron's hand, let him facilitate, get guys open shots because we had a lot of shooting on the perimeter, and that opened up the floor for LeBron to get into the paint, score some, and also distribute.
Right here in the front.
Hi, Ray Jeske, ESPN 990. Including the first 2 games of this series, 2 bad losses, 0-7 against the Warriors, and now 3 out of 4, kind of a total reversal of fortunes, 30-point win, 15. Today was really a 20-point win. What do you attribute this whole thing to, this total, including the win on the road that, and now you go back there? How do you just account for all of this? This is kind of a turnaround.
Just our guys' fight and our determination and never want to give in. We had, 2 shaky games in Golden State to start the series. And, you can always prepare for them. But until you get, in between those lines and see how fast they move, how hard they cut, how hard they play, you really can't get a gauge for it. So I thought game 1 was, was that test for us. And then game 2, just kind of got away from us. But, this team has been fighting all season. Been through a lot of adversity, even though during the playoffs we started off 10-0. We still been through a lot of adversity this season. And our guys are fighters, and they just kept fighting, continue to do the right things, and continue to execute the game plan, and that's attack.
Next row back.
Ken Miller calling post. Coach, what have you learned about yourself as a coach in this series that you didn't know about yourself already? And is there any one guy that you were with throughout your career that you can attribute this calmness to your demeanor with this basketball club?
Well, everything I do is Doc Rivers driven. He taught me everything. As far as being a coach, giving me my first chance, to coach. But just the poise from, my first 3 seasons of being in L.A. with Phil Jackson, and just saw how he, in practice, he's teaching, he's coaching, he's on the floor. But when the game started, he was always poised, and he let the guys figure it out. And I think, that meant a lot to me, just seeing that, because, as players, if you're sitting on the bench and you hear coaches, talking about certain players on the floor or getting mad and getting upset, you realize they say the same thing about you when you go in the game. So I just think it's, important to stay poised. Guys are going to make mistakes as part of the game, but, the effort, that can always be there, the unselfishness that can always be there. So I just attribute the calmness, Phil Jackson, and just seeing as a player what works and what doesn't.
Kenny, back left.
Ty, Kenny Rhoda, WHBC Radio. Each game that you've won, there's been that third scorer, with the exception of last game when they went off for 82. But tonight it was Tristan Thompson. What's it mean to you, your team, when that third scorer helps carry the load?
Well, it means a lot, and I thought JR gave us a good bump also. And, Kyrie and LeBron were special. Kevin came out with the right mindset, just got 2 early fouls and could never get in a rhythm. I thought he made a big 3 for us. Some good switches and some post-ups that he was aggressive on, got fouled, but he could never quite find his rhythm after he got those 2 early fouls. But, we get, the third and the fourth scorer to step up, we're really hard to beat because we know 2 of the big 3 are going to play good every night.
Having said that, 41 and 41 in back-to-back games for LeBron, how do you describe that?
It's just LeBron being LeBron. He's one of the greatest of all times, and our back was against the wall, and he took it upon himself in the last couple of games, himself and Kyrie, to really, put this team on their backs and really, get us to where we're trying to get to, and that's a Game 7 in Golden State.
Over here, Chris.
Chris Parker, Cleveland Scene. Coach, jumping on Kenny's question, Tristan played really well, not just on the boards, but it seemed that he was rolling to the basket and finding open spaces and getting into positions where people could find him. Could you talk about that part of his game?
Well, the last few days we've really been working on getting to the right spots because they do a great job of protecting the elbows and boxes and loading up. So we really, the last 2 or 3 days, we really have focused in on Tristan being in the right spots because he's very important to what we're trying to do. And defensively, being able to switch 1 through 5 with him is great for us. So we need him on the floor. And I thought tonight he really got to his spots and he really was in the right position every night. And LeBron and those guys could find him when he was open.
Would you also say that his physicality was the key for the game?
Oh, his physicality every night. Just guarding, like I said, 1 through 5 on the glass every night, and just he brings the physicality to this game, every single night, and he's the heart and soul of our team.
Jason on the left.
Jason Lloyd, Ag Journal. How long were you sitting on Dante Jones? And it was quite an impactful 2 minutes that he played. Why was tonight the right time to pull that curveball?
Well, they were big at the time at the guard spot, and a lot of guys got in foul trouble. RJ had 3, Kevin had 3, Shump had 3. So our next big body that can bring a physicality to the game and a defensive presence, was Dante. And that's a longtime friend of mine, and it just felt good to see him get in such a crucial part of the game, with 2.5 minutes to go in the half, and you haven't played all series, you haven't played all game, and to come in and contribute the way he did of scoring 5 points in 2 minutes and just being aggressive defensively, rebounding the basketball, boxing Draymond out, and I thought it was fantastic.
And if switching topics real quick, did Kyrie twist his foot? It looked like he might have hurt his foot a little bit, and just your thoughts on his performance tonight, and if he was playing on a bad foot?
He just tweaked it a little bit, but he's going to be fine. And his performance, is great. He really got us off to a great start in that first half. 20 points, I think he had in the first half, and 6 for 12 from the field, getting to the free throw line and attacking. And last game, he had 22 points in transition of just pushing the basketball, early offense, and getting to his spot. So I thought he really did a great job of setting the tone for us early in that first half. And then, LeBron brought us home in the second half.
Last two, back right, and then Joe over here.
Tyronn, Goldhammer, ESPN Cleveland. They had made that run to cut it to 9 at the end of the third quarter. Clay had a couple of threes and a little fury. What did you say and what was said in the huddle going into the fourth to kind of keep poise at that spot?
We know they're a great team, and they didn't win 73 games for no reason. And, they're going to make some shots. They're going to make some runs. That's just who they are, and they've always been that way. But it's our job to try to minimize those runs. And I thought the guys did a great job coming out of the timeout, just being focused, regaining our focus, and then coming out and increasing the lead again to 16, 17 points. So, the guys, they hung with it. They didn't drop their heads. We know they're going to make runs, and we were able to sustain it tonight.
Joe, last one over here.
Joe Varden, Cleveland.com. Ty, we've talked a little bit about this throughout the year, about this idea of winning one for Cleveland and no major titles in 52 years or whatever it is. And you guys have always kind of put that to the side, that it's not about that for this team. But now that you're here...
It's not about what?
That the pressure of winning one for the city is not what's on your shoulders.
It's on everybody's shoulders. The city of Cleveland, the state of Ohio, our Cleveland Cavalier team, the organization, it's on everybody's shoulders. We want to win. So, I wouldn't say we never, thought about that. We want to win it for the city of Cleveland.
Well, there's been times throughout the year when that's come up, and guys have just said that's not what's at the forefront of our minds. And I'm just wondering if you felt that at all tonight, Game 6, just with the crowd and all.
They gave it to us. Our crowd really gave it to us. And, in Game 3, I think staying up the whole game, just being around this city and just walking around, just the love and appreciation that we get around here. And then the fans tonight were unbelievable. So, when they came back and cut that lead to 8, the fans stayed engaged. They never wavered. And, we want to get the city of Cleveland a championship. We want to get the state of Ohio a championship. We want to get the Cleveland organization a championship. So that's what we're all about. That's what we're trying to do.